Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to get back to the Mayan calendar for just a minute.
Okay.
When we do make that step up off the pyramid, so to speak, as the calendar goes off the pyramid, what's next? Is there a whole new set of steps?
Well,
or is it kind of like a tunnel upwards?
Well, it's going to happen way before that. So I think that the segue will have been put into place, the year before in 2010. So by the time we reach 2011, October, 2011, everything will be in place. I don't get that it's a light switch.
Is it going to be just, all right, is it going to be a big shift? A little shift?
We're being spoon-fed because we can't go from crawling to running a 10K. It doesn't work that way. So it's in the evolution of getting ourselves off of our all fours to walking and stumbling, and then being able to walk better, and then walking faster, and then running, and then being able to do the 10K. So it's only appropriate that we do it in increments, so that we're not on overload. We could overload our system and implode or explode ourselves. That wouldn't be fun. It would be like putting a poodle inside of a microwave oven.
Yeah. That would be kind of difficult. Oh. Well, Mattie, I want just a few more of your adventures. I want some storytelling.
Let's see. Ian and I were. This is interesting. This is really interesting. We had found out that there are codes that the normal people, me included, hadn't a clue about, and they're called the Uniform Commercial Codes, UCC codes.
Yeah.
Well, Ian and I, and a pretty large group of people in Arizona, in different parts of Arizona, started studying the UCC codes. And in studying the UCC codes, we stopped paying our mortgage on our house because we knew that it was bogus, that as soon as I had signed the papers to take over the house was legally mine. And so for 15 months, we lived in the house, and we didn't pay the mortgage, and we did all this paperwork, and we went to court a few times, and because the house was in my name, I was the one who had to be the spokesperson in court. I wish I could have turned it over to Ian because he was so brilliant, but I couldn't. Anyway, so 15 months after and winning our last case in court, 2 weeks after that court case, we were sitting in the living room having our morning cup of coffee, talking, and I look out the double French doors and say, "Oh, shit." And Ian says, "What?" I said, "Look what's walking up the driveway." It was 2 sheriffs.
Yeah.
And so we had this other gentleman who was teaching us all of this information, who had been studying the UCC codes for 10 years prior to us meeting him, and I invited him to come live with us in my guest house. So he was living there. So when the sheriffs came, I went and I got Herb and said to Herb, "Please talk to these guys." So he goes to the door and he says, "Let me see your papers, please." And he sees the papers and he said, "These are incorrect because we were in court and we won in court. These are incorrect papers." So the sheriff goes away and comes back 20 minutes later, And he says, no, the judge says that you have 10 minutes to vacate your home. Ian and I look at each other, and at first we were really pissed. It's like, how dare you? And they had the guns, so it was like,
right,
okay. So 10 minutes later, Ian and I got that we had been talking for the last 3 years about taking this information on the road. And so we were gathering up some stuff. By the way, they gave us an hour and a half to get out instead of 10 minutes.
They just had to shock you. Shock and awe.
Yeah.
Part of what they do.
Yeah. And Ian and I got very clearly that God was saying, we've had enough of your chatter about taking it on the road. Now you're going to take it on the road. So it was trippy because all of a sudden there was like 6 other people that showed up. So there was 8 of us that was able to gather stuff. And some of the most important things that we gathered was all of Ian's jewelry equipment and all of his molds.
Yeah.
And, clothes and my blankie and my pillows. I mean, if I can't have my pillows, I can't sleep. So we were out of there. And then about a month later, we were gifted this 34-foot trailer, motorhome, and we started our journey. And our first real stop was the Yukon, Whitehorse, in Canada. It was amazing adventure. And we got to Zion National Park, and our first motor blew up. Oh, we had some fabulous adventures, really fabulous adventures. Because the beauty of our energy was neither one of us ever made the other one wrong. There was no wrong. The motor blew up. It's like, okay, what do we do now? Somebody stopped and said, you want me to go down to the gas station and get the tow truck for you? Oh, that would be great. Thanks so much. And so we just hung out and waited until the tow truck came. We just had wild adventures. One time, when our second motor blew up, we lived behind the service station for 3 days while they were putting a new motor in the motorhome. We had some fun times, and they appreciated us because we were just being there and travel with a 140-pound dog. That was trippy. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you: how many people have you talked to so far? I mean, is this your first time to come out and speak in this forum?
No, I've been on Art Bell. I've been on George Norrie's show, Mitch Batros' show.
Wow.
And then
thank you so much for coming on my little show.
I loved it. It was so fun. So fun. Way fun.
It has been fun, and I feel like I have found a new friend.
Yeah, indeed, me as well. Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah. Very, very
I've kept you for 2.5 hours now. And,
far out.